Hi everyone, welcome to Deriben Live. Your usual host Benedict here. As I said earlier, we are looking at two main projects this year. The first one is Success Diaries and the second one is Business Avenue. So today on Business Avenue, we are discussing some few topics that will help us run businesses and run them efficiently. So the first one we are looking at is quite simple, but people do miss it. How to start a business from the scratch. Let's say zero, no business idea. Or let's say you have an idea, but how do you kickstart? How do you start it from the scratch? There are certain things you need to note them down. They are very vital in the process of starting or launching a business. So the first one is, I had to put these under certain bullets. So the first one, we are looking at the pre-launch. That is before you launch the business. What are the things you need to consider? The first one is you need to validate your idea. What do I mean by validating your idea? With validating your idea, it's about researching whether the idea is viable, whether it's going to work, the market availability of that idea. Is it going to sell? Are people going to buy into that idea? That is very much important, and that's what I mean by saying validate your idea. With validating your idea, you need to also acknowledge competition, audience, as well as market trends. So this is a whole research thing on its own. You need to do due diligence here before you think of going ahead. And after validating your idea, the next thing you need to look at is define your mission and vision. Mission and vision, they go hand in hand. So you need to clarify your business purpose and the goals. Why do I want to start this business? Where do I want this business to get to? How am I going to make this business work? How am I going to make the business get to the level I envisage? So this is all about defining your mission and vision. There are two principles. You will learn them in business class, but you need to apply them here as well. The third one is create a business plan. Creating a business plan is very, very, very important. Sometimes you might have the idea. That is why you have business consultants and analysts around. You might have the idea, but you wouldn't know how to create a valid plan for the idea. So there's nothing wrong when you consult people to help you, get the plan right. And without a plan, you're going to fail. You can't start a building by roofing it. You start from the foundation level. It's the same thing with business. You need to start from the ground and then you build upon it. So that is why the business plan is very much important. You need to plan. You need to have a blueprint for your business. And that is the third one I'm going to talk about. So let's move to number 4. With number 4, you need to choose the business structure. The business structure would depend on how you want to run your business or the number of people involved in the business. Do you want to run the business solely? Do you want to partner with others? Do you want to make it company? Company in business terms is quite different from the company we know. Company has a public listing. The people have investments in companies. So here we'll go into the legal terms and how these things go about later, but you need to know how you're going to run your business. Are you partnering? Are you doing it alone? Or are you trying to set up a business with venture capital? They are all there. We look at those things into detail some other time, but today we are just running through them. After getting all these things right, the first 4 right, what next? You need to look at registering your business. Registering your business is very much important. The paper is necessary. Let me repeat, the paper is necessary. So every business must be registered. Once you register, you need to conform with the laws and the rules governing businesses. You need to pay your taxes. You need to pay the other relative royalties or whatever involved with the business, especially those handling big firms. Now there are so many tax reforms that we need to get ourselves abreast with, which I think is a topic I would like to also take on next time, but not today. So for now, these are the first things you need to consider, and that's for the pre-launch. So after the pre-launch, what do you look at? You look at the financials. Let's say you've registered a business, you've started. So the next thing is financials. With the financials, we look at securing funding. There are options in starting a business. Sometimes you might use loans. grants, investors, or personal savings. But mostly in our world, people start businesses with personal savings. That is what is, I think, about 75 to 80% of people start businesses with their own, savings. So the next one is manage cash flow. Manage cash flow. I repeat, manage cash flow. The lifeline, the lifeblood of every business is cash. And how do you manage your cash flow? How do you manage the cash coming in and going out of the business? You need to track your expenses, you need to track your revenue, and you need to plan ahead. Planning ahead in business, we call it forecasting. You need to forecast. You need to forecast and know, what you intend doing with your funds available. So the next thing after looking at managing your cash flow is set a budget. Every business has a budget. Everything has a budget. As a human being, you have a budget. So you budget for your business. You allocate funds for marketing. You allocate funds for operations. And then you save for the growth of your business as well. This is very, very important. Every structure has to grow. The human being will grow. Seeds germinate. So for businesses, your business has to grow. You can start from 50 cedis, grow it to 5,000, 10,000, and then you hit millions. It's all about growth. And growing a business isn't just about words or talking. It takes a lot of effort. And on Business Avenue, we are not going to sugarcoat things. We are not going to inflate things, or we are not going to build castles in the air. We are going to be very much real with you. Very soon, we will start visiting businesses. Those who would give us the chance, we will look at how they operate, their operations, and how the whole business survives. So we wouldn't just be talking and then giving words. We're going to look into the practical nature of the business, and that is walking the talk in a nutshell. And then after all this, you need a business account. Your business account should be different from your personal account, and that makes revenue tracking very easy. Because as a business owner in Ghana right now, we have millions of CEOs. People stay in their rooms, they sell caps, they sell bows, they sell plastics, and they say they are CEOs. We'll look into that later. But as a business owner, you need to open a business account where your business transactions will go into that account. Whatever concerning the business will be in that account. So I always suggest that as a business owner, you create a salary for yourself. You pay yourself at the end of the month. As a business owner, you just don't dip your hand into your business account. You need to have a salary for yourself, a reasonable one. You shouldn't, have a huge figure for yourself. Let's say your whole business is running on, example, let's say 500,000 cedis. You cannot say as a business owner you are going to pay yourself 50,000 cedis. That's going to, complete your whole capital in 10 months. Even when it's running, it's still not advisable. So you need to create a realistic salary, an amount, a very realistic amount for yourself every month. And with that being said, when you pay yourself that amount, you don't go in there for personal money. Let the business run. You have paid yourself. So you pay yourself like any worker working in your business. That's how you grow your business. Because if you don't do that and you keep dipping your hand in the funds, today you dip, tomorrow you dip, your business is going to die off very soon. So you need to create a salary for yourself, a reasonable one for yourself, and then let the business run, let the cash flow, let the cash run. That's how you grow your business, right? So the next thing we are going to look at is branding and marketing. Branding and marketing. How do you brand your business? How do you position it well? And how do you make your business attractive to clients and customers? So with branding and marketing, the first one we are looking at is you need an identity for your business. What do I mean by an identity? Your business should have a logo. It should have a website. We are in the IT world now, 21st century. A website is very much important, and you should be present on social media. This is where we find ourselves. So social media is very important when it comes to business and then branding. So you have your logo, you need a website, and then you should be present on social media. Right now the next thing we are looking at is define your unique value proposition. What makes your business unique? Why should I buy from you? Why should I not buy from her, but rather buy from you? You should be able to create something unique about your business. That is how you will survive as a business, and that's how you're going to thrive. So there should be a unique value proposition. And now, after doing these two, You don't need to look at creating a marketing strategy. How are you going to market your business? How are you going to go about marketing? You know, let me make this clear. Marketing is different from sales. Sales and marketing is not the same. Marketing is getting your idea or your product out there. It's more visibility. That is marketing. And then sales, how do you close the deal? How do you seal it? After marketing, when the people come, that is when sales begin. How do you sell? And I hear people saying, I don't know how to sell, I cannot sell. I mean, you can learn how to sell. You're going to have, something short on sales later on. But today I'm just saying marketing and sales, they are interconnected, but marketing is different and sales is also different. Now, let me go back on this as well. Building a website is very important in today's business, because that's where you're going to showcase your products, you're going to show your services, and then the story, a brief story about your brand. The next thing is operations and team. How do you operate as a business? And how do you handle your team or build your team? Teamwork is very important in every aspect of life. And when it comes to business, initially when you start from zero, it's mostly you do everything yourself. But as the business grows, you would need a team. How do you build a capable team? And let me say this, you need to get people who understand your vision, people who buy into your idea. They are the ones that can help you grow, because you can't have someone who doesn't believe in you, doesn't believe in your idea, and you want to grow something with the person. And mind you, we are talking about starting from scratch, building the business from scratch. So if the person doesn't understand your vision, your growth will be very much impeded. You are going to slow down. So you need people who understand you, who understand your idea, who believe in your ideas, because the beginning is going to be tough. You might not reap as quickly as you are thinking. Things are going to get tough. We need to be real with you. Things are going to get tough when you start from the scratch. You're going to go into debt, which is very possible. You can lose clients, you can lose goods, you can lose money. A lot can happen in business. So you need people who understand your vision, people who are willing to grow with you. That is how you build the team. And that's, the greatest advice or the greatest tip I can give you when it comes to building a team. Now, you need to establish a process when your business is growing. Process, you are looking at the system. Your business shouldn't halt when you are not around. So you should create a system that is going to work all the time, with or without you. And then you look at customer service. In Ghana, you walk into a hotel or you walk into an institution, and the first person you meet at the front desk, sometimes the facial expression alone could make you walk out of that business or that building. So customer service is very much important. How to receive customers, how to treat customers, how to respond to customers. As the saying goes, the customer is always right. I do not believe in that. But even if the customer is not right, there's a way to accept the feedback or the information they are given to build your business. So with doing all this, you need to have a plan for your business, the growth plan for your business as well. And now that brings us to the next step, where we are looking at growing your business. How do you grow the business? After doing all we've said previously, how do you grow the business? Now, with growing your business, one thing you need to take into consideration is feedback. Feedback is very much important. What are your clients saying? What are people saying? That is feedback. You also need to monitor and adjust. You need to track your performances, and you need to change things when needed or when need be. You cannot be, too rigid when it comes to business. You need to be flexible. You need to change things when running a business, and you need to stay compliant. Staying compliant means honoring your tax, obligations and other cost that comes with business, the running cost. You need to honor them. Once you do them, you gain the trust. So this brings us to the end of our first discussion on Business Avenue Deribet Live. Today we are coming from Emisa Hotel Asqua in Kumasi. We are going to drop the details on the screen so that you know the location and their services. If you haven't subscribed, kindly do so. Like our comment and then share our videos as well. We build a family, so at least try and then engage with us on our comment section, and then from there we can take it on in building a family so that we all build good businesses, good and thriving businesses in the country. Thanks for staying with us.